And here with Bryson Pinardo of the Shady Spring Tigers. First of all, Bryson, I want to say congratulations on a great season last year, 16 and a half tackles. Talk about that season and how you felt being a linebacker, leading the state, I think, in tackles. What all that mean to you?
It means a lot. My team means everything to me, and not having all the guys out there that you're used to is definitely a big change. Because when you go into having guys you play with since middle school, elementary school, to going with guys that you've never played with before is just huge.
What was that like? I mean, it seemed like first, second game of the season was almost like a mash unit. You kept losing guy after guy. How tough was that to deal with?
It was tough. I bounced around inside that linebacker, outside linebacker. Sometimes I'd even go drop back, and it was just weird, having to do and catch up with everybody, and not having, like I said, your guys beside you and playing in different positions, but it's what your team needed.
So you came out and you played a couple preseason games. You're with one group of guys. You open up against Nicholas with a group of guys. By the third game of the season, you play Independence. It's a whole new team. How tough of a challenge was that?
It was huge,
And talk about some of the guys who went out.
Caleb Whitaker, he's my outside linebacker with me. Me and him, we've been friends since middle school. He came over from Liberty, and it's been awesome to have him around here. Huge. I couldn't play, like I can without him. And Jaden Hirschberger, he was huge. I played with him through middle school. Him going out with Valentine, Valentine was a key player for us. Him and Hirsch both. We relied on them a lot for our running game, passing game, and going with them out, it's almost like you had to draw up a whole new offense and defense.
You are related to some great linebackers. Coach Cool alluded to the fact you've been around the program for a long time. Cody Fry's your cousin. Talk about your knowledge of this Shady program. And how forward were you looking to finally getting to high school and playing?
Yeah, I've been around this team since we moved out here in 2005. My dad started coaching around that same time, and my older brother and all my cousins went through this program. They were actually on the 010 team, and all those other teams through 12 that went to the playoffs and got to Final Four, Sweet 16, Elite 8, all that. And yeah, it's just having them to look up to. It's kind of awesome, try to fill in their shoes.
And Coach, you've been a starter since your sophomore year. He alluded to the fact that you had to learn some lessons along the way. Aside from last year, does anything stick out in your mind where you knew it was a little different game when you were out there as a sophomore?
Oh yeah, when you're I weighed 165 my sophomore year. It was the smallest one out in the field, and you're looking around at all these guys that are towering over you, and you're getting plowed every game. Some of them hard hits taught you how to get around linemen and different people trying to block you, and try to play smarter and faster than they are to just try to be good at your spot.
How much did getting knocked around as a sophomore prepare you for last year when you were really the last starter standing among the linebackers and a few of the guys in the secondary?
It prepared me a lot for just knowing I was going to get hit. Our line had a lot of problems. We had a bunch of guys go out, and without your line, you don't really have an awesome team, and so you're used to getting hit a lot and by many people, and so just having all them getting hit and kind of teaches you to be tough on them, get back up, and yeah.
What do you remember from those playoff teams? Being a kid, being around the program, I mean, I guess you were 7, 8 years old then at the time. What do you remember about those teams?
They were family. They were the probably closest group of people I've ever seen go through Shady. They were all brothers. They hung out together 24/7. Anything they did, they were together as a team. And I think that's huge when it comes to football as a family sport.
Do you want to try to emulate that this year with these guys you've got coming back now? I mean, I would assume that last year, if it taught you some tough lessons, you're going to know a little bit more about the personnel that you're lining up with this year.
Yeah, definitely. We all try to hang out as much as we can. With school and COVID times going on, of course, still we weren't able to hang out a lot last year. But going into this year, we've all hung out through the summer, doing different things, different workouts. A lot of our guys have grouped up to go to different camps to get a little better for the team.
What kind of camps did you go to, and what stuff did you pick up there?
Everything you do, you can, no matter how good you are, you can get better. People that are going D1 in these camps and know that they're getting a full ride, they can still learn stuff, so that means I can still learn stuff. Nobody's perfect out here, and you just gotta, learn everything you can.
How did you find out you were one of the leading tackles, if not the leading tackler in the state? I mean, when did that knowledge get to you, and what did you think?
About middle of the season was when I became aware of it. My dad told me, and I had no clue. I try not to keep up with stats because it's a mental thing for me. But when I found out, I was grateful for it. I couldn't do it without my team out here and helping me out.
That said, you lost a lot of people, and you mentioned when we were talking about being double teamed a lot. Yet you were still able to fight through that and keep your tackles up. 16 and a half tackles is a lot of tackles for anyone in any game, and for a season to average that is incredible. How did you? What is your mentality when you're on the field to be able to do that?
Keep going. No matter what happens in the play, the ball's not dead till the whistle blows. So whether the ball's running by you, you got to get to it. You got to do everything you can. It's just you got to have that mentality. And no matter what happens, I have to get to that ball, and that ball needs to be mine.
What was one of the better games you played? I mean, you lined up against some outstanding running backs here in Southern West Virginia. Atticus Goodson's one. Did any game stand out to you?
I think team-wise, we played really good over at Ripley, even though we did end up getting beat. I think we held in pretty well with them. They're a really good team, and I think that was one of my better games. I don't remember which game it was, but I actually did end up setting a school record. It was like, I think 30-some, around that number of tackles. So,
did it feel like you were in on every play?
Somewhat, yeah. It felt like you were. If you weren't the one that started the contact, you were the one ending the contact.
Because I don't know how many snaps you would get a game, maybe 50 or 60 on the defensive side. You had 30 tackles, maybe even just 40, 45. 30 tackles. That's almost being around the ball at every time, on every snap.
Yeah, we you just try to. Whether like I said, if you're the first one there, last one there, you're at the ball. You have. You need to make sure you're hitting that guy and to be in on that.
What are your goals for this year? Do you have goals as a linebacker? I know you're playing more of skill position and over on offense too this year with a lot of guys gone. What kind of goals do you have?
It sounds cliche, but bigger, faster, stronger. Try to beat my records that I set last year and try to outdo myself from last year. I've learned a lot of things in these off season through different college coaches. Our coaches here we got a couple new coaches coming up, and that's the goal. Just be better than you were.
Are you looking forward to this season? I mean, do you feel like there's a lot of amends you guys are going to have to make for last year?
Oh yeah, last year we had a rough season at 2-5, and I got real good hope that we can be better and go on to have a winning season.
Okay. All right, Bryson, I appreciate it, and good luck this season.
Thank you.